peak performance mindset. Look at all. Getting ready to present at the. Getting ready to start the peak performance. Hey everybody, it's Christine Harrington and one and only Wes Wyatt. We are back for another quick 15 minutes during your lunch hour. And Wes, today I wore Savvy Sales Lady branding colors.
Yes, you did. You most certainly did. I wore black to just, blend in with everything.
I'm going to have to send you a Savvy Sales Lady color.
Okay.
Well, everyone, we're going to be talking a little differently here today. It's about labeling when it comes to sales conversations, but I want to let you know what I've been doing. And that is I have been deep diving into negotiation skills. Now, everybody thinks when you say the word negotiations, Wes, they all think that means that you take less for a price, or it is you negotiate a price with the product. That is not what negotiation is. That's bargaining, okay? And I never believe in bargaining. And I have been reading this book, and I want you all to pick it up, called Never Split the Difference, Negotiating as If Your Life Depended on It, by Chris Voss. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Chris Voss. I'm not affiliated with him in any way, but I do love his product. He's a former FBI terrorist negotiator. This man knows all the ins and outs of negotiating to free hostages with terrorists. His work, in my opinion, is fascinating, Wes, because he goes through not only what to say, tones, how to label, and what he calls mirroring words. And we're not going to go into all of it today, but I just want everybody to know I take these courses. I read all these books, so you don't have to. I do the hard work for you. So if you tune in, I will always pass on that information. If you're on my newsletter, I will indicate where the information is coming from as well. And the stuff in the newsletter isn't what everybody else gets out in the public realm. So, Chris Voss' story is incredible. So I've taken some of their courses, and his company is called The Black Swan. And I've read I'm reading his book, and I have taken his master class on negotiations. So I have used these skills, and I would say since about the middle of December, I started using these skills when I've been cold calling for clients, and when I have been striking up deals with my own clients and my own prospects. So I can tell you they work. You have to practice. As you guys know, what are my two key things? Always be learning and always practice. So let me get into labeling when you're having a sales conversation. Labeling is nothing more than stating how the prospect is feeling. So if you notice that the prospect might say, yeah, let's just go ahead and move ahead. Well, if that doesn't sound confident, that deal is not secure. So you may label it by saying, I hear that you said yes. It seems though that there is some hesitation to moving forward. And then you just shut up and let the prospect talk. The whole idea, according to Chris Voss, with his business strategies that he has built around FBI negotiation tactics, is all about not just asking questions, but making statements that will cause the prospect to want to elaborate more and maybe go deeper into what they need. Wes, have you run across any of this?
I have, and what you're talking about, the term is not real pleasant to think about, but I always have heard about that as vomiting on the customer, where you
Yes.
just won't stop. And like what you said, and what Chris teaches is sometimes there's cues that if you will just stop and recognize them, you can cut off a lot of time, trying to sell somebody by just constantly just regurgitating facts and every single thing and the persons that you've talked to about it. And next thing you know, when they say let's move on, they don't mean let's move on and let's do it. They mean let's just move on. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely. I've found that many times.
Okay. Well, thanks for that input. I am going to read part of a newsletter that I just received this morning. I was going to do this whole thing on labeling, but this is from Black Swan. So I think this newsletter is so good. And I want to encourage you all to go to Black Swan and sign up for their newsletter. I sign up for a ton of newsletters, even sales program newsletters. And by far, Black Swan has the best tips. So just letting you know that. All right, so let me get to it. And it's called 7 Negotiation Tips for Closing Deals with New Vendors. Now, I apologize for reading this, but I want you to hear every word. So it starts out by saying every high-performing salesperson is focused on the same thing, closing deals with new vendors as often as possible. For the most part, winning business is easier said than done. We all know that to be true. By following this 7-step strategy, you can increase your chances of closing more deals and taking your organization to the next level. Well, and it's taking you to the next level too. Step 1, start with a calibrated question. When you're sitting down at the table with a potential new client or over Zoom or wherever it is, kick off the conversation with a calibrated question. Now, they have trademarked that phrase, calibrated question. For example, you might ask, what does your vision for the partnership look like? I love that because right away, Wes, it's establishing what they think the partnership with you will look like, and then you can expand on what you think the partnership could look like as well. So you're exchanging information. Or you could say, how do you see us being able to assist your business? So I have often said that in different ways, by saying, how do you think I can help you and your team? And that's just another way of saying that, right? It's important to get them telling you why they have taken, oh, my hair's going all over the place. Again, Wes, you don't have that problem. So lots of times they are giving you whatever time it is to be able to talk to them about how you two can do business together. So it's important to understand what their vision is. Excuse me. Remember, one of our laws of negotiations, gravity, is vision drives decision. And that is so true. If they don't have a vision when you hit them with these questions, it's a red flag that indicates you're unlikely to get the deal. Or they could just be kicking the tires with you, as we have talked about before. Right, Wes?
Yeah, absolutely.
So step 2 is follow up with labels and mirrors. So after they respond to your calibrated question, which is a trademark phrase, follow up with labels and mirrors, which is also trademarked, to to gather additional information and uncover hidden sentiments. So using labels and mirrors, you can figure out if your counterpart has some pain points, what they are, and what they're currently doing, and what's not working. So, a label would be if they paint a picture of a vision for you, and they say something like, it's really important for me that my sales team comes together cohesively. And a labeling would be, it sounds like that you really want to foster teamwork within your organization. That would be a labeling. Now, they would go on to expand how that would look on their side. So again, it's only getting information. Labeling starts out with, it sounds like, it looks like, it sounds like, it looks like, oh shoot, I forgot the other one, Wes. I always seem to be using it seems like, it sounds like.
Kind of like a restatement.
It is. It is. That's exactly what it is. And so why would you do that? Because you're projecting that you understand what it is that they're trying to accomplish. And if you restate that with a label, they may say, oh, no, that's not what I meant. Well, that's great. Now you can dive further and clarify what it is they mean by that. Right, Wes?
Yeah, and the other thing, like you said, it lets them know that you're listening first and foremost, and that you care. Because the mirroring side, and I don't know exactly how Chris defines it, but the mirroring is sharing in that excitement, or sharing the sadness, or just kind of mirroring your customer to where they understand and know that you get what they're laying down.
Well, the mirroring that he talks about, let's talk about that, would be, let's say, Wes, that you tell me you're the buyer, I'm the salesperson, and you say to me, well, your price came in much higher than the other vendors. A mirroring would be, higher than the other vendors, as a question mark. And they would come back, yeah, you seem to be $1,000 higher than my other vendors. $1,000 higher? And this is an actual example of a client of mine, by the way. And so the prospect actually came back and said, yeah, $1,000 higher. I don't know what the differences are. And then he went on to say, excuse me, I'm having trouble with my throat today, Wes. He went on to say, well, I don't know if it's an apples to apples comparison. What can you tell me about that? And so then this was a client or a prospect who was totally against sharing price and sharing the proposals. So he actually opened up the proposals to show my client, and my client went on to close the deal because he showed the differences, even though his price was higher. And he did all of that through mirroring with words that Chris Voss teaches.
I'd never heard of that specific form of mirroring, so I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I really do too. So, and I've used that. I would say it was an unconscious attempt to use that sometimes when people would say something like, um, you know, uh, if your hourly rate is such and such, then what would that be for the next 6 months? Do you decrease your price? And I'd go, decrease my price? Trying to get them to flush out, what are they expecting, right? So it's just one more way of doing it. And we're almost out of our 15 minutes, aren't we, Wes?
Well, that's okay because maybe we can go through the other ones on
Yeah.
on another episode.
Yeah, we should probably go through. We only got through one and two, but there is. Let me finish with this. Number 3 is ask a proof of life question. At this point, it's time to ask a proof of life, which is trademark question. Out of all the companies that could help you, why are you considering us? Okay, I have used that numerous times when I have said, well, if out of all the sales coaches, why me? That's just another way that I use that. So that they label that as a proof of life question. Out of all the companies that could help you, why are you considering us? It's a great question to ask. Your counterpart's response to this question makes all the difference in the world. If they speak your value proposition for you, it came a ton of, excuse me. If you speak your value proposition for you, it carries a ton of weight, far more than if you cite your own value proposition, right? So again, you're bringing out in them, do their value proposition matches your value proposition? And that is a yardstick to determine whether they're a good client for you or not. Okay. Well, that was a fast 15 minutes.
See how awesome your stuff is, Chris?
So Chris Voss has awesome stuff. And I want to encourage you, and on LinkedIn, or I'm sorry, on Facebook, YouTube, I will put a link to the Black Swan group on there so you can go back into, how long will this be? When will this be posted on YouTube?
Immediately.
Okay. So I'll go back in there and I will put the link to Black Swan group, and you can check out all their great information, because I, as you guys know, I don't recommend a whole lot of sales programs. His, I would highly recommend. So, all right, Wes. And remember this, everyone. Sales is a journey, not a quick trip around the clock. Hopefully next Tuesday, I'll be better here and won't make so many mistakes during the broadcast. We'll see you next Tuesday at 1 Eastern Standard Time. We'll have lunch together. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.